normal state, one is always engaged in Krishna service for the benefit of Krishna. And Krishna, of course, if one works in Krishna's service, then one will naturally act for the benefit of others, because that is Krishna's activity. Krishna acts for the benefit of others. And if we are acting in Krishna's service, one will naturally engage for the benefit of others. And the highest benefit, Krishna is giving the highest benefit to all living beings. We serve Him. We have been used as instruments in His servants, or a simple peon in His greater service. We will also be engaged in the highest welfare work, living for the benefit of others. So that's kind of again the theme of these verses here. We already talked about it the other days, actually how this is a mood of the Hare Krishna movement. That everything in this, we are again, of course, it's a movement that is elevating souls who are on different levels. We are on different levels. We know some can take a very fast path, others have to go through a more gradual process. But the mood of living for the benefit of others is what really is the actual mood of this Krishna consciousness movement. Started like this by Prabhupada, by Bhakti Saraswati, by all our acharyas, by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that's actually where the real bliss and happiness of life is. I mean, it's not only we live for the sake of benefiting others, but we become very happy and satisfied because of that. Also now today is a big festival day for all the sutras of the world. It's International Sutra Day. And so, but what means that when sutras they have their festivals, they just go and spend all the money they have and get drunk. And it's quite pathetic. That's why actually the movements of the communists and the unions and so on is that the workers, they should have better conditions, and they should be paid properly, they should have more pay, all the wealth should be distributed equally. But that's not in the interest of the sutra. The workers, if you actually living for the benefit of the workers, we really have the welfare of the workers in mind. Don't give them money. Simply, they should not be paid. That's good. Yeah. Workers should not be paid. They should
give them necessities.
Well, they should be given all necessities. But the point is, if as soon as they get money, they'll spend it on sinful activities and destroy and ruin themselves. And you go to this. Are you going to the Heinheim today also?
Yeah.
Park? So have you been there already?
Last year.
You were the last year also. So it's a big celebration, and tens of thousands, and even hundreds of thousands of people will be there.
I think about 100,000.
Yeah.
It's all over Europe also, right?
Yeah, it's international.
Belgium also.
Yeah, it's a Workers' International Day or something.
International Sutra.
And but also you see, they just get drunk. It's just they supply with some money, and then the business people are smart and they supply them alcohol, and then they just
give the money back.
Yeah, it is great the money out of Romania. So actually, they should not have money. They should not have money. And you also, I mean, when you're there, actually, it's generally the mood is quite heavy depressed. Actually, that's at least as I remember it. I haven't been there for many years, and I probably will not be there today either. But we go out there. We have high now. We distribute prasadam and hopefully some books, and we have fun. We have a lot of fun, and it's at the same time benefiting others, showing well that it is possible to live in a different way with different values, and instead of just being a mudha who works for basically nothing. That's what most people are. They are mudhas, hard workers, but they're not without knowing why they actually are working. And that's working for illusory masters and illusory purposes, and not getting any benefit. They're simply working hard. And of course, are very dissatisfied. That's why they have to get drunk to remember that, to forget the pain in life and the meaningless they have in life. But we go out there and we actually enjoy it. It's really enjoyable to serve Krishna and try to benefit others. I mean, it's seen immediately. Why do anything else? Sometimes I ask myself, why do I do anything else? I do many other things and I'm miserable. But we should actually know why do anything else except simply trying to give others Krishna consciousness. It's simple, it's direct, it's it's deeply satisfying. It's the only meaning to life, really. It's other, we cannot be happy by arranging for the body or, different circumstance for the body or, and so on. Timon just said that. We can only be, the body is a source of misery and it's temporary, and only if it can be engaged for the benefit of others does it actually have some purpose, otherwise it's meaningless. You want to have some questions or something?
You talked a lot about selflessness.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, because there seems to be two aspects of it. You can have a selfless activity with a selfless activity with a selfish mentality, and you can have and the other way around.
Which other way around?
You can have selfless activity with a selfish mentality, and you can have a selfish, or you can have a apparently selfish activity with a selfless mentality.
Yeah. You can perform selfless activities with a selfish mentality and selfless activities with selfless mentality or motive as well.
Yeah.
And then says apparently you can perform selfless motives with a selfless motive. Really, I don't know if that's the last one flies. You have to maintain yourself, including the body, including the mind, in order to actually function, be able to do proper service. So if that, seemingly selfless activity is there for maintaining oneself, so one is able to perform one's service. It may look selfless, you are eating, but it's not selfless, it's, you have to do it. So, Prabhupada spent a lot of time on maintaining his body, so it worked to the best of his capacity. He was facilitating himself so actually he could function. Prabhupada was engaging devotees in his, as his personal servant, and he was taking Lakshmi on his, spending also on himself. But then of course, getting massage every day and so on. But also, if he did not, and in return he gave, millions of times more. I mean, it's so infinitely more So one has to see it like that. It's necessary, maintaining one's body or fulfilling one's responsibility. One has great responsibilities. Grihastas have responsibilities to their wives and children like that, which is extended selflessness on a material level, but on the spiritual, Krishna conscious level, it's not. It's still selfless. It's for, these are Krishna's children that I have to take care of. So, performing selfless activities with a selfish motive is fine. That's it's maybe one is still contaminated, but by engaging in devotional service, even if one has some material motive, but one will come to the point where one is only one devotional service and nothing else. It's one shouldn't fall into the trap where one thinks that, I don't have the right motive, so it's not proper. I should not engage in devotional service. I don't have the right motive. That's not the philosophy. Actually, it doesn't matter any motive you have. Karma, sabakama, vana, karma, dharati. It doesn't matter. You engage in devotional service, and the activity will purify you. So you will get also develop the right motive, the right mentality. Was that?
Yeah, it was nice, but I have an elaborating question.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have this selfish mentality and you engage in the selfless activity, and you said just go on with it. So, but should you also consciously try to do it in a selfless manner, or should you just go on with it out of duty, and then this selfless mentality will also come?
The selfless mentality will develop as a result of performing the service. You might, and also become conscious. So, the service makes us conscious, so that we kind of look at ourselves and discover how selfish we are, and then become disgusted with that and want to give it up and become selfless. The service purifies us, and makes us conscious. And yes, we have to make conscious endeavor, also to have the right, to work on ourselves, to have the right motive. And also the service, sometimes we, as with more and more to service, we just forget about ourselves and we're just doing it. Service is absolute, and is absolutely pure. And by associating with the service, which, actually devotional service is not different from Krishna, so the service is purifying us, and we will become pure ourselves by if we constantly make sure that we engage in service, regardless of our motive.
Thank you for explaining. In 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the same principle is explained, that somewhere you start to do some service, have the result. But then the asuras, they also do charity.
Yeah.
But they remain asuras. So, but still, Krishna recommended and Prabhupada elaborates on that. Maybe you have some social work. One day you will come to it, but asuras never come to bhakti. They also
come to bhakti.
Asuras, they always remain asuras. But although they do charity.
Yeah,
So,
but it's still, it's better that they engage in some kind of charity than not at all. And some of them, you may say asuras, but of course they're the hardcore asuras. Well,
that's also in the Bhagavad Gita, right?
Yeah, it will take many lifetimes for them. Lesser asuras, maybe they will. The thing is that like giving charity like that is not it's not like there's a certain process like engaging in devotional service directly is a certain process, and simply if one sticks to that, one will come to the perfect level. The process of just being charitable and giving up results or the work in itself is not a process that can bring one to the perfect states. But there's a hope that one can at one point accept the path of devotional service from there. Which also means there's a chance that one doesn't, at least not in this lifetime. No one's just pious and goes to heavenly planets and goes up and enjoys and then comes back and starts over again, rotating like that. Most actually doing like that. But still there is a better chance. Someone who is selfless or mundane philanthropy, or even have some idealism and want a better world, or they actually are. There's a greater chance that they can accept devotional service when they somehow get in touch with a pure devotee and like that, and those who are just absorbed in themselves. That's actually seen, and many devotees actually were quite idealistic, probably still are quite idealistic. Whereas the common person who just think about themselves and is arranging for themselves, and the whole world and ambition is just themselves. For them, it's to accept devotional service is very difficult. Isn't it? I mean, if actually you look like we, you can just imagine for a moment, like we have a group of young people, see for yourself, like, different kinds of young people that we are trying to reach and preach to. Those who are idealistic and have, they want to, they want a better world and like that, are much more better candidates for Krishna consciousness than those who are just into, having themselves and, my whole energy is, I want a business, going to business school and getting a business education and, with it, so I can get a high-paid job and I mean, they are useless. I mean, I'm sure someone more powerful maybe can reach them, but, they're beyond my power. Again, difficult to send books to.
When you meet them, it's rarely they take.
Yeah. I mean, one can. Often the best is one can just get a donation out of them, and then they get a book anyway. And whether they ever read it, that's a good question in this lifetime. But you meet some of those who have actually some. Have some, something, they want to do something for the world or change the world like that. They can actually be much more open to a clear message, because they also see they want a better world and like that, but they have no idea how to go about it. You can see what they're doing is they're frustrated actually. They're frustrated in a healthy way. So they're open to maybe there's something here, especially if we are good examples, that they can actually see that, well, you look like you haven't what I want. But for the common Buddhas, the prospective business executives and all like that, we're not even ideal. They think that, why waste your life like that? You could do something for yourself instead. You're wasting your time. Just fooling around and God and religion.
How misused you are.
Yeah. So just you see, there's so much
Make yourself happy.
Yeah, and why waste it? Just see, we have all this reality, just see it's right here. Money, sense gratification, opportunity, position, the cars and the computers. It's there. It's real, and you just there. You're missing you're missing the train. It's right here too. But those on first, they actually haven't see a little deeper. They see actually all this is just temporary, illusory, or doesn't mean a satisfaction. It's somewhat unreal. It's destructive. Actually, it's destroying the world. So they are much better candidates for something, for the actual Krishna consciousness. My experience.
One last question. That this was this one question. That what is about Kali? What is the best age? What is the best gender? What is the best varna? And the answer was Kali Yuga, woman, body, and Sudra, body, varna. So how the Sudras can be so qualified?
Where is it from? You just go.
Now I forget where I got it. I used it in the class 14 days back. Chaitanya Bhagavata.
I mean, it makes sense.
You ever heard about this point?
I mean, not stated so succinctly.
I can find it back.
Not stated so succinctly, like this is the best age, best gender, best varna. I haven't seen. But
it was really a question asked by the sages. I think in Saraya asked.
So.
And that was.
I don't have to see the precise context, but of course, Kali Yuga, why it's considered the best because of the high numbers and Kirtan. That's why the women get the gender is the best.
Yeah, the answer was given us.
I don't know the answer from there. I heard another answer from actually Manu Samhita said that the benefit that a brahmachari gets by living with the guru, constantly serving him menially, a woman gets the same benefit living with her husband being chaste. She actually has the same benefits simply living with her husband, faithful to the husband, serving the husband.
That's Manu Samhita?
That's Manu Samhita. So in that sense, the women, they actually get it's much more easily, because how many of us actually live with our guru constantly? But the woman has the same benefit as living with her husband, so it's much more available to the women. Sudras, I don't know, he said Sudra means servants, so to be six in the position of simple servant is the best. But again, I don't know that we have to give the context, and probably the answer is given there clearly.
If they are not given money. If they are not being given money.
Yeah.
Interesting part.
Yeah, no, Sudras, money is bad for Sudras.
If we say that now in the world, they throw stones to us, but we don't care. We have to say that.
He's saying it. No, I'm not afraid to say it in public.